Can technology be used to connect us to our own soul? What if the physical world and the spiritual world are closer than we imagine? Today, it is possible to establish a bridge between ancestral wisdom and modern-day neuroscience. We are on the cusp of a new era, in a time when modern technology seems to separate us from our own divinity. Now technology can be harnessed to connect us back to who we truly are.
So I really believe that destiny is real and that there's higher powers at work. And I believe that something brought me here to the Sacred Valley, something drew me here. The Sacred Valley is a very special, magical place high in the Andes. It's sacred to the Incans, and you really feel the energy in these mountains, and how beautiful it is, and how magical it is. I was in the military, I was in the Marine Corps, and when I got out, I was looking for something else in my life. Something else to direct me. I tried ayahuasca in 2014. It was a very powerful experience. I started coming back and forth multiple times, and now I live here, and it's part of my life. Plant medicine's a part of my life, and now I research them, I work with them, and I work with other people with plant medicines. But eventually I discovered qEEG brain mapping and technology called Neurofeedback and brain training. So once I discovered the spiritual implications to this technology, I realized that this could be very powerful in conjunction with plant medicines. I apply these different technologies, neurofeedback and qEEG brain mapping, in the plant medicine space. So part of what I do is research. I've published 2 studies so far on plant medicines, one on ayahuasca and one on Wachuma. As far as I know, no one's combining plant medicines with qEEG brain mapping and neurofeedback. Plant medicines are also a technology, I think, in many ways. And I think if we look at it that way, it can be very beautiful and very profound. Conventional wisdom subscribes to the idea that the spiritual world and the physical world are apart. But what if they're one and the same? What if the physical body can be used to reach higher states of consciousness?
Neurofeedback is a way of speaking directly to our own brain.
It's interesting when the shaman and the brain mapping confirm the same finding. This technology will not explain away the mystery, it will deepen it in a sacred way.
This is our mother, that we're in her womb.
La batalla la perdemos cuando nos abandonamos.
Neurofeedback is difficult to explain to people, but I always use the word brain waves because everybody understands brain waves. And I just tell them, We put sensors on your head. They can sense your brain waves. We amplify them, put them into a computer, break them into thousands of pieces, all these colors, alpha, beta, theta, delta, gamma, all these different kinds of brain waves, and we feed them back to you. And your brain knows what to do with them. Your brain recognizes yourself. It's an electronic mirror, and your brain goes, oh, I'm getting another feedback. And it begins to use your brain waves as a tool to create greater integration.
So, Dr. S, I want to bring us back to the first time I went to Neurofeedback conference and the first time I met you. I've been living in the jungle off and on for a number of years doing ayahuasca. I started realizing there's lots of spiritual potential for neurofeedback and brain mapping and brain training. I was telling people about my idea about combining the two, and no one really was into it. You know, plant medicines itself was pretty crazy and out there for most people. I think you're one of the first people I talked to. And I don't know if you remember saying this, but you said, I've been waiting to meet someone like you. I'll train you. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do, because it's true. Psychedelics hit you with a Mack truck and it says, wake up. There's a much bigger universe than you ever imagined. And then alpha theta training says that place is inside of you and you can get there without psychedelics. And it's very similar to meditation, working with the brainwave training, learning how to be in the moment with all of yourself rather than just your little conscious self. Neurofeedback is a way of speaking directly to our own brain.
My name is Cinzia. I'm originally from Lima. I was born in Peru, but I grew up in Miami for nearly 25 years, most of my life. First time I came back to Peru was in 2013, since 1986. So it was a very big pilgrimage for me. It was wanting to get to know where I came from. And I did a tour of the valley of southern Peru from Lima downward and then up to Cusco. And though that month changed my life, I went back to Miami for another 2 years with that idea of, I want my life to be bigger. I didn't know what that meant, but I knew it wasn't going to happen in Miami. And I moved in 2015 with no plan, $6,000 in savings, 3 cats and 4 suitcases, with absolutely no plan. But I knew that there was no going back. Since then, my life has taken a trajectory that I could have never imagined. I was the least likely person, I believe, to ever work in healing or plant medicine or any of those spaces. And then I find myself in that space now where I have been apprenticing under our Wachumero, my very good friend and brother Alcides. And he initiated me into serving medicine, into serving Wachuma. Very unexpected, I hold a lot of respect to be able to share these medicines, because when you share medicine, you're not just sharing that fraction of the spirit of the medicine, but you're sharing yourself. And you have to hold yourself very accountable. You have to look at yourself. What is it that you're imparting to other people? And it cannot be pretend. You cannot fake it. So Luke and I met, and he had this idea for combining neurofeedback and brain mapping with plant medicines. And we spent 2 years going back and forth in the valley, in the Kombi, everywhere in the valley, like days on end, going to different meetings, meeting different people, trying to share our idea with them, share our passion, share the possibility of what this could be. And we got a lot of no's. We got a lot of rejections. And ultimately we sat down like, okay, well, this isn't working. We gave it a good shot. Maybe it's time we do our own retreats. And that's where Tiwa's Awakening was born.
Every traditional culture has had initiation rites, where you become part of the tribe. That challenge to become an adult, to become a full being, that's how you can see who you are. That's where you can develop yourself.
Tiwa's awakening is a retreat that's inspired. It's inspired by the retreats I've been to and what they could do, what they've done for me, but also inspired by all the things that have changed my life, whether it's what we call spiritual neuroscience, plant medicines. There's also been martial arts and Jiu-jitsu, adventure hiking. We go to these beautiful sacred places. So that's why we have all these things in our retreat. We combine them all together in 9 days, a 9-day retreat in Peru.
That's how you can see who you are. That's where you can develop yourself.
The people that you see here, us, Luke, our friends, this is our community. We're sharing with you our community. We're sharing the people that have impacted our lives, who are their own masters, their own medicine in their own way.
The Tiwa's rune is the Germanic rune for the warrior. And in our retreats, we bring back that warrior ethos. We bring that honor to our retreats. It's about nobility, it's about self-control. It's about approaching all of life's challenges head on and not in fear. It's being confident with yourself and who you are and ready for anything that life may throw at you.
We invite you to take your hero's journey. Rediscover who you are and reactivate the healer within.
I joined the military right after high school. I considered my patriotic duty at the time. It was the war on terrorism, and that's what I wanted to do. I joined the Marine Corps, and I was stationed in a reserve unit in Nebraska, and that's where I met Rob Kugler. He was pretty much the guy with the greatest humor, the most funny of all the people in our unit. And then I was deployed to Afghanistan. This created a lot of angst for me because I started not believing in the war and what we were doing and the political system, what it was about. And the mission became much more unaligned with who I was. I started becoming at a point of, say, existential crisis of who am I, what am I fighting for, what's my purpose? We both left the Marine Corps. I left the unit, he left the unit, and I didn't really keep track of him for a long time. But my friend was telling me, like, hey, Rob's on Facebook. He's traveling the country with his dog, and he just wrote a book, and he was on the Today Show. And he had this beautiful story.
Former Marine Sergeant Rob Kugler lost his brother in 2007 while they both were serving in Iraq. As Rob was adjusting to life back home, he was hit with more heartbreaking news.
Bella's shoulder injury is actually, it's not an injury.
His beloved dog Bella was diagnosed with bone cancer.
She's got about 3 to 6 months left.
Bella's leg was amputated shortly after, and Kugler was determined to make their last days memorable. The duo set out on the trip of a lifetime, crisscrossing the country.
You made your balls. So you took this road trip with her for her in some ways as this last trip home, as your book says, but also for you. How did it help you get over, you lost your brother? How did it help with that?
Well, the trip definitely gave me a lot of faith in humanity.
Keep going.
So I reached out to Rob and contacted him and say, hey Rob, like, why don't you come down and have fun down here and participate in an adventure in Peru?
Okay, so intentions for this journey. I'm living in a spot in my life where I'm seeing all the past places that I've been, people that I've run with, communities that I've been a part of, relationships that I've had, and like careers that I've had. And then my head is doing a constant what if I would have stuck with this thing? where would I be now? I mean, I've been lost for a long time, I guess. I'm just tired of being fucking lost. I'm tired of being in the intersection, in the crossroads. Something's got to change, and I'm hoping this trip can be that.
Start of the retreat, first day. Still haven't seen anybody yet.
Okay, so I'm headed out. Flight leaves at 8. It takes an hour to get to the airport. It's 5:38 right now. In the Marines, I was never late. Never. All right, made it to the airport.
Unfortunately, I had the bad idea to ask Rob to bring some brain mapping gel to Peru, because it's not something we can get down here.
This is the conductive paste. Goes on the little diodes.
This turned into a whole situation I was not expecting.
We're held up at security because of the little gel things that Luke asked me to bring. They're discussing it in the back. They haven't asked me about it yet, so see how long this takes.
Now it goes to TSA, you want to check it in, bring it back.
Now I've got to find this international travel agent. Yeah. I missed my flight. I missed my fucking flight. I missed my flight. Because that stupid shit that I brought with me.
See, and then this is one of those situations where I'm mad at myself, and I'm mad at everybody. And I should have just fucking thrown it away the minute they said it was a fucking issue, instead of trying to make sure that I could get it to you, fucking go find someone at the USO to fucking hold on to it.
Rob's upset.
I'm gonna be an entire day late. But worse than that, it costs me more money. Money that I don't have, money that my children deserve, that my wife deserves.
Shit, he's pissed off at me. I didn't communicate it correctly, or I wasn't clear enough. I hope he gets here. And like, he has this beautiful soul. I want to work with him, but it always has challenges. And life has its challenges. And my mentor told me once, it's not, enlightenment is not, you don't get angry. Enlightenment is how fast you recover, how fast you go back to your center.
I am the operations manager for this project that Luke and I have started. So I'm in my own process of healing. I'm in my own process of remembering and rediscovering who my innate self is outside of a lot of, personal trauma. I think that's what we're all doing here, is finding ourselves and finding our purpose and our place in the world.
I'm Randy Brooks. I'm a nurse. My intentions, I think, are just kind of the same as they are every day, is just to find more love for myself and for others, and connection with others, and just really be able to focus on what's important in life, which is, to me, is love and connection.
I'm from the United States. I live in Colorado right now. My name is Faith, and I'm a US veteran, and I'm currently a Muay Thai fighter. I got knocked out for the first time in December, and that was definitely an experience. When I was in the military, I was struggling with anxiety and depression. I got medically retired from the Navy, and I was kind of like, I need something to feel better. I need to try it and work to improve myself. So that's when I heard about ayahuasca. The ayahuasca made me realize that I needed to ask for help, because I was in all these, male-dominated fields trying to prove myself, and that was my first step. My intentions are to release what no longer serves me.
My name is Sylvia. I'm here because of Cinzia and Luke. She's doing whatever I wanted to do, but I didn't have the courage or the apoyo.
So my name is Bryce Gertzen. I am the practicing curandero at this retreat called Tiwa's Awakening. I've done lots of what are called diets with the plants, learning their medicine, how to be able to use them to help people heal from either chronic health conditions, depression, anxiety, stress with the nervous system, and things like that. And yeah, I'm just very grateful to be here and that Luke.
I really struggled for meaning in life and where I wanted to go. I was dealing with constant stress, anxiety, whatever you would call this, but every day was a challenge even to get through. I was able to bring it together and meet such incredible people, especially incredible people in this room. They say, if you look at the man and look at his 5 friends, that's who the man is. And if I have friends like this and people like this, I feel I'm doing really well. So thank you for being here.
Y hoy día vamos a tener el gusto de trabajar con ustedes haciendo la ofrenda para que inicien vuestras ceremonias en todo lo que vayan a trabajar, ¿no? Vamos a empezar, cada uno pone su intención primero en la flor que se les ha dado. Y me van entregando uno a uno. Dentro de la ofrenda ponemos hojas de coca, ponemos diferentes productos de lo que es de la selva, de la costa, como pueden ver, y de la sierra. Eso lo hacemos desde los incas, porque para nosotros la tierra está viva. Los sapos tienen también sus espíritus vivos. Y la ofrenda es una manera de agradecerle por todo lo que nos da, por la vida, por este día.
The reason that we include Jiu-jitsu in our retreat is because it has been such incredible medicine for myself and for Luke. Jiu-jitsu, the sparring, is you have to face your own limitations and surpass them and work on your breath and see where you might be in a compromised position and take a breath and think. Find a solution without scrambling, without flopping around and flailing. And that reminds us a lot of the ayahuasca experience as well, when you have a very hard process and you're thinking like, man, I gotta get out of here, I gotta get out here. There is no way out but through it. And so this is very similar. And again, coming back to your breath, coming back to your own stillness. And you can find that with Jiu-jitsu through the sparring. And then within that, you find intense and beautiful camaraderie and brotherhood. And that in itself is medicine.
Soy Bruno Momeni, soy cinturón negro, primer dan de Barra Yoshida, primer dan de Roberto Leitao en luta libre y soy el profesor de Flow Ritual en Urubamba, Valle Sagrado, Cusco. Cuando peleas contra alguien no peleas contra otra persona, peleas contra ti, porque como no puedes hacer nada, te vienen todos tus traumas, por así decirlo. Y hay mucha gente que no puede pelear consigo mismo, pero si quieres mejorar ciertos aspectos de tu vida que tú crees que no se están frenando justamente por ti, o sea, tú eres tu único obstáculo, el Jiu-Jitsu es la mejor manera de romper esas barreras.
We don't have much air here, the altitude, so you feel like in a box that you can move and you can breathe and you need to relax. and this will help for your ayahuasca later on stuff, because you will get to a point where it's a tunnel and you're like, what I'm doing here, why I am here, why did I came?
Oh yeah.
So we try this with Jiu-jitsu first.
There you go.
And with Jiu-jitsu, you have a brotherhood and you have camaraderie, and that's what kept me going, frankly, was like the friendships that I built there and the intimacy. Sure. My divorce and my separation of a relationship of 10 years, and I realized that I was extremely lonely. I had no idea who I was, and I needed friends and I needed contact. I found friendship. I found myself, my limits. How much I like choking people.
El jiu-jitsu es para todos y olvídate, si el chiquito, más chiquito tiene una manera de pelear, el más alto tiene una manera de pelear, el más gordo, el más flaco, el que no tiene un brazo, el que no tiene un pie, tiene una manera de pelear y el jiu-jitsu se va a adecuar a él.
You find a spot to breathe, breathe, and then explode. Take everything out. There you go, you see, nice. Nice, go, you're almost done. Almost.
So right now we're doing our first BJJ class, and we're waiting for Rob at the moment. Bruno was talking about Jiu-jitsu and how it prepares you for ayahuasca, being comfortable with those uncomfortable situations, and those things come up in ayahuasca too.
Thank you.
We are on the flight. We're headed to Atlanta, and then from Atlanta, we're headed to Lima to Cusco. And we have landed in Lima.
Made it. We're on the ground to Cusco. See. All right.
Inca Pachacute.
Pachacute.
Yeah, he's arriving soon. He's driving up the mountain right now, so we're walking to the road.
Hola, what's up, brother?
Bring it in, brother.
How's it going?
Good, man. Good.
Oh, finally here.
Yeah, you made it. So you're not missing the gym? I've had to deal with a lot of anger over that. Yeah, because I still, all that extra money that I had to pay to get your ticket, there's still no gel.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
That's
All
it.
right.
So right now we're setting up for Rob's pre-brain map. So with our retreats, we give people pre-brain maps and post-brain maps. It's called a qEEG. So we compare your brain map against hundreds of thousands of other brain maps, pass it through a system. This gives us a topographical image of where your brain's at. We can see there's markers for all kinds of things: anxiety, depression, insomnia, PTSD, focus, ADD, even meditation. So by studying brains and their energy signature for the last 30 years or longer, we have a really good grasp of what all these things represent. So what we've been doing is we've been tracking change over time in the retreat setting. So we can see from the pre-map to the post-map how your brain changes. There's no way we'll ever be able to explain consciousness.
Right.
There's no way I'll ever be able to explain your experiences. This is this one lens to look at. For me, it emphasizes the mystery. And the modern mind does not like mystery. But the ancient mind knew how important it was to human existence. It was mystery with a capital M. Like the Greeks and the Romans knew that mysteries were sacred and to embrace them.
Right.
And so this technology will not explain away the mystery, it will deepen it in a sacred way.
One thing that was like a big push to like, hey, something's gotta really change in my mind is, it's been over a year now since this incident, but I was coming home from school and my wife was giving our daughter a bath. And then when I walk into view, my wife looks at me, she's like, hey, Dada. And then my daughter stood up with joy to see me. And then she slipped and she fell and she hit her tooth. She was just completely covered in blood. You know, my brother was killed in Iraq in 2007. A mission that he took to come see me ended up, you know, getting him killed. The reason I'm mentioning that is so then, like, you know, almost 15 years after that, when my daughter fell and hit herself, and it was just for a second. It was just for a second that I hesitated. But I just curled down, and like this overwhelming sense, like I've never wanted to kill myself more in that moment, because it was just what was said to me, or like what my ego said or whatever, was this is what you do. Like you hurt people just by existing.
Suffering in itself is meaningless and terrible, but suffering as a process that moves you towards insight and transformation is a blessing.
So Rob has a brain map with low alpha. And from what I understand, they've noticed this pattern with veterans with PTSD. So low alpha is because of often a stress response where there's high cortisol due to stress in the brain. But when low alpha is in the temporal lobes, it can affect emotional regulation. And this is something I've noticed with dealing with Rob. He gets really frustrated sometimes, whether it's at the airport, some things when I was talking to him before I arrived, you could see he was easily agitated. So when you have poor emotional regulation, there's often emotional flooding. It's tough to regulate that. So this is something that we're going to want to train with him on his brainwaves, because when you can regulate your emotions, everything in life becomes easier. So that's something we definitely want to work with Rob. PTSD is something that stays in the nervous system, it stays in the brain. And I don't know if Rob has ever been diagnosed with PTSD, but the alpha pattern is sometimes seen, this low alpha pattern is sometimes seen with people with PTSD. And we often see that with veterans. It's not exclusive to that, but it's something that's correlated with that.
So welcome aboard, Rob. I'm very glad to have you here. So this part is the intention. So this is just where you relate to me what it is that you're looking to receive from the medicine space and how I can best serve you in that regard.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So like I involve myself in like too many different things, and then I'm like, oh yeah, I can do this and I can do this and I can do this. Memories and regrets and these things that live inside, to where I feel like, you know, I'm being pulled this way and that way, and I'm trying to like come in and center.
This is spirit medicine. So we're really going to be getting in touch with that animate essence of yourself, the one that goes beyond just the name or the label or anything like that. As we engage more with that process, you'll start to know who it is, more of who you are and what it is that you actually want to accomplish.
My mouth is salivating.
Okay.
It's a good omen.
the pre-ceremony purge. This actually costs a little bit extra if you want this experience.
Usually people that arrive don't purge during intentions. But Rob had a rough flight. He was delayed in airports. He was very stressed. He's eating airport food. So he had a lot of energetic challenges when he arrived.
What I'm working with is light information and energy that's already here. Yeah. So I'm working with that to build higher states of coherence in your body. So I kept wanting to heal your heart. I don't know. It felt like your heart is full, but I can also tell it through your eyes. Yeah. So when I look at you, I feel it. I felt your heart is full. I felt also that there's like a storm happening. I don't know what you've gone through, but I feel you. My heart goes out, you know?
I was the third person to take the medicine, and it was like 40 seconds maybe, and so yeah, because it hit my already queasy stomach, and then I just just throw it in there. And then I popped up to Bryce, and I was like, "Hey, can we, redose?" Because I lost it immediately. He's like, "No, we'll check in an hour." So then I'm here with my second dose. And then there's still nothing. I'm trying to be open, I'm trying to let, and then on the other hand, I couldn't help but I was getting frustrated. I was still fighting that ego voice, the voice that's telling me like, well, you deserve this, like you're being punished.
And didn't feel any effects beyond the purging.
In this process, it doesn't always go the way we think it should go. It goes the way the process wants to go. And that can be challenging because we're in a culture that we want control. and we don't always have that control. So even though you might not have had those insights yet, I could definitely see the change and shift in you just by looking at you from that when you walked in that day till after that ceremony. There was definitely an energetic shift. We work with ayahuasca and neurofeedback because they're both so powerful together, because they both leverage off each other in how I view it, because both use neuroplasticity. And energetically, they're both energy medicine too. So when our energy is open with ayahuasca, we can train these states in a deeper way. We can train the brain in a different way because the brain is much more plastic. It's much more easier to train, but also your spirit's open. Your soul's more open, so we can go down these states and release these traumas and reconnect you to your true self. Your true self isn't, this ego we all think it is.
We're technical, we're digital, and our way is not the way of the past. Our way is through our technology, but it requires effort and discipline and direction. You have to build it. That's what Hatha Yoga is about, and the other yogas. They're about building the brain and conditioning it in the right way so it's ready to really receive altered states of consciousness of the quality and type that take you to those insights. Biofeedback and neurofeedback, that's kind of like electronic yoga.
This is called alpha theta, and alpha theta trains you into hypnagogic states. So this will train you down between sleep and awake. And in these states, this is where trauma is stored. So this is a place to release trauma, this is the place of the unconscious, this is the place of the soul, magic. But from the scientific point of view, like, hey, this is where trauma is stored. Because most of us, we're in a constant waking state, beta, like a to-do state, focus, daily work. We rarely go into these deep states. So with this technology, with neurofeedback, we'll take you down to these deep states. And this is where your conscious mind gets a chance to meet the unconscious mind. Higher tones alpha, the lower tones theta. So basically just want the tones to increase. Like some people really try to make them increase. I don't. I just let my mind do the work, because your brain will do it.
First night, Bryce, our shaman, was calling in things to come and help us. And I saw that there were these little people in my heart, and they started pulling out thorns out of my heart. And my assumption is that these were past hurts, past traumas, and they left a little splinter in the middle. And they tried pulling it out, and I physically jumped. I physically felt it was like a stabbing pain. And I asked them to try and take it out again, and they said we can't. If we do, you'll die. And I know it's probably not literally die. I don't know what context that means, but I was a little frustrated, and I just wanted everything gone. And so I kept trying to ask over and over again, please take it out. And we just kind of went into other avenues throughout the night. And then I realized I should just be grateful for what they did remove. And I started to feel better.
Overall, Faith's brain looks pretty healthy. She's young, she's fit, she's a healthy brain, but we do see this high delta pattern. And she said that she just got KO'd, she got knocked out in a match. So this specifically is what we're gonna work on this week. We're gonna work on this high delta. Actually, Bryce, our shaman, came up to me this morning and he expressed that he saw this energy field with the brain and how that there might be a trauma there. And I told him, yeah, like I see that in the brain map. So it's interesting when the shaman and the brain mapping confirm the same finding. So that's what we're seeing here. So with this week with Faith, we're gonna really focus on this head trauma. The shaman's gonna work with the plant medicines, and we're gonna work with neurofeedback.
I just had acupuncture, and that was really amazing. And part of what was kind of profound about it was that he asked me about the pain that I'm in, and I'm usually in a lot of pain. It was actually on my way when I was called to go meet with him. He said, you know, like, what's your pain today? And I was like, I just noticed on my walk towards you that I've been relieved of a lot of pain. Yeah, I'm hoping that going into this next one, I'm still gonna just try my best to let
So like if I say like I'm doing work on somebody, it's more like I'm kind of invoking the spirit of Shiwawako or Towe or Bobinsana or Albaca or the doctorcito, the little doctors that live inside of the plants, because they do the work on the patients. So I'm just kind of like a vessel who's kind of like on standby. So the doctorcitos are the ones who really like perform the miracles and do the healings and everything like that. And there's a little bit of interplay where you have the dialogue with the people as to like what they're actually looking for, so you can kind of voice to the doctorcitos, this person is looking for this, so please use your medicine in this format to be able to guide this person in the direction that they need.
I drink a full cup. You know, I had some processing to do as well, and I sometimes, when you're in space, you think you have it all together, and then you drink ayahuasca and realize, like, wait, I got a lot of stuff still, you know? So, it was good, though.
Buenos días.
you could just see the smile on my face. I saw it this morning. I was given access to like the healing realm that I was like, they are working on me. Because it's funny, like I've heard about, you know, calling in the doctors, and I was like, okay, sure, you know what I mean? But man, they were just kind of alien type in look with like this white, they were coming down. They had like kind of like needly type hands, and they were working. Like I had no idea that they were going to work on my pain, like my physical pain.
Yeah.
And they would just shoot, like, you know, just like working, like doing surgery, like sending lightning bolts through my sacroiliac joint.
I think you like reached out to touch me, and then you wanted to like give me a hug, and I was like, oh yeah, he's really in the medicine. Okay, and Mother Ayahuasca's really going to work on him.
I found little Bobby. So just loving myself in a way of like seeing that I'm still that little boy, I felt like was one of the bigger things to take.
After having spent ayahuasca ceremonies in the dark, having all these deep processes, these revelations, how can you begin embodying those lessons? How can you begin to integrate those lessons into your body? And I feel like one of the best ways is to do these hikes, because it checks you where you are spiritually, mentally, physically. What did you really work on what you needed to during those ceremonies? Because all those lessons can just stay there, and then really what's the point of anything if you don't bring it with you into your day-to-day life? And so these mountains, this hike, waking up at 4 a.m, choosing with discipline to have that process, to meet yourself there, to test yourself, to be rewarded by all of this, to see the magic of Wachuma, to see the magic of Apu Ausangate, to see the magic of the Cusco region, of God, all in front of you, and being able to begin embodying all that gratitude that you felt in those ceremonies. Apply it to this, apply it to your life, apply it to everything, because everything is ceremony. Andean cosmology and the Incan beliefs of the local communities here, Apus are the mountain spirits. They're guardians. They're the ancestors, son los abuelos. They hold life and they hold this community together. So the people here, they make offerings to Apu Ausangate. So you make an offering to the mountain for blessings for your family, for blessings for your life, because they live in this climate. They live with the cold, they live with the sun. You can only plant potatoes here. They live with their alpacas. So asking the Apu, the sacred mountain, for protection, for abundance, to be held in this space together.
These blessings matter, and you can feel the sacredness of the space. You can feel the sacredness of the mountains. So just being up here, there's profound energy in these mountains, profound spiritual grounding that can happen when you come up here.
We're surrounded by mountains that have a presence of gods, and it's impossible not to feel it, especially after the ceremonies. My heart is so much more open that I feel receptive to the energy that is here, and it's absolutely beautiful, and you can't describe it with words. You just have to be able to see it.
Everything has a spirit. Everything is to be respected and given gratitude for, because it creates all of this together. You are one with it, and it is one with you. And having, again, that reverence for Pachamama, for Mother Earth, because this is our mother, that we're in her womb. We're given all these gifts, this love, and being grateful to it and appreciating it, wanting to take care of it.
We conclude our retreats with a Wachuma hike. Wachuma is a special medicine from the Andes. It's a cactus, and it connects you with your heart and the world around you. And then this hike, it brings lessons back, what we learned in ceremony during Ayahuasca. We bring it back to the physical.
Algo importante para antes comenzar con la medicina es ser nosotros mismos. Algo importante, hermanos, es poder volver a casa, porque ahí está todo lo que necesitamos en la vida. Es tiempo de volver a reactivar ese amor que vive ahí dentro. Esa es la medicina que todos tenemos, hermanos. Muchas veces nos olvidamos de amarnos. Amamos a todo el mundo, pero nos olvidamos de alguien importante, que somos cada uno de nosotros. Llamas, las alpacas son libres. Lo que tenemos que aprender nosotros los humanos a saber convivir. Convivencia. No importa las pruebas que vayan a venir cada día. Mientras seamos conscientes, vamos a ser como el río. Seguiremos fluyendo. Como el viento. Seguiremos fluyendo. Seremos como las aves. Seguiremos volando. La batalla la perdemos cuando nos abandonamos. Todo lo que buscan en la vida está con ustedes. Es tiempo de reactivarlo más. Hermanitos, bienvenidos a vuestra casa. Bienvenidos a ustedes mismos, hermanitos.
Con Wachuma, como te vas más dentro de ti a buscar lo que supuestamente ya sabemos, porque está en nosotros, sino que lo hemos olvidado.
I don't know, being a kid and walking into Disneyland for the first time and just marveling at the beauty and the perfection of everything.
This thing like where I don't want this to end, yet more than anything, this experience has been pushing me to go home and just hope that the love that I feel here, that can exist at home.
I've been trying to release something for about 6 months now. Finally, Alcides just looks at me and he just knows. I don't say a word to him. He knows exactly what's wrong. He starts talking to me and, he does, I think, a cleansing on me and it was insane. And I finally released it. It was beautiful, yeah.
It's been really, really healing for me to see my mom as a woman and to have her see me as a woman and to see what I'm doing. She's so proud of me and I'm so proud of her for doing this.
Saw Rob and other people go through a process. I was going through a process at the same time. So it's really a beautiful space where as other people heal, allows ourselves, facilitators, to heal as well. So it was very powerful in that way.
Amen. Sientan, vivan, compartan, disfruten. El amor es simple, hermanos. Solo tocar esa puertita de adentro.
Just knock on that door and open it.
Yeah. Nice. Get one right. Let him go.
So is this your topographical map? Which I find very interesting, Faith.
Ooh, why?
Because, well, anyway, you have delta, theta, alpha, and beta. So the delta you saw in the pre-map is high. This indicates an inflammatory pattern, likely due to a head trauma because you said you got KO'd.
I did. I got KO'd in December.
So, really exciting news. This pattern's been reduced significantly. So right here you have the 2 standard deviations above normal or average in the temporal lobes, and now that completely disappeared. Right now, there's been really little talk about how plant medicines can help with head trauma.
Yeah.
So this is a very, very powerful finding, and also shows us that the combination of plant medicine and neurofeedback can be very powerful. Post brain map, and I processed it. We'll go over it right now.
Okay.
So we're using NewMind technologies and their software. So NewMind technologies measures plasticity and normalization. And what plasticity is your brain changing, and normalization is moving towards a norm. So you had 53% change in plasticity and 42% normalization. So this is a very significant change in a short period of time.
Yeah, I mean, that, without you even saying it, you know, like that sounds like big numbers to me.
And you can see here it's 19% in the red, it goes to 69% in the green. This is a measure of depression. So your depression measurement went from, looks like you're fairly depressed, you probably feel it, to that depression lifting.
My dad asked me, he said, did you, like just yesterday, last night, he's like, so did you find yourself? Like, how is that going? And I got to, like, you know, kind of transport and observe little Bobby, you know, like me as like a 7-year-old kid. I had to take little Bobby into my house in Washington State and show him his family and show him how he gets to play with his kids.
You never know where destiny will take you,
In what directions you will be carried.
or the people you'll meet along the way.
But I believe that faith can carry you far,
We are at a critical moment in humanity.
where we must all evolve by using the best of our technology
The wisdom of our traditions.
and the courage to create something new.
It's a path whose destination is unknown.
But for us, it is undoubtedly marked by hope.
The brain seems to be healed in the way that it's needed. Like low power patterns seem to increase, busy minds seem to decrease, head trauma helps. Everything that they're dealing with seems to be healed through plant medicines. So for me, this is unexpected because you expect like a drug to push everyone in the same direction, but it seems to normalize them and heal them in whatever way they need.